everybody.
Hello.
All right, welcome to Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Look at us being 2 minutes early.
It's a miracle.
It is a Wednesday miracle. That is true. All right, so Shelly has given us our amazing scroll here. So the fun thing about what's going on right now, pretty much all the time, we're talking about it constantly, is our Helix assessment. We're having a website and new sort of programming launched. You're going to be able to compare yourself with other people in your team or yourself against other types, not you, or people like you. So it'll be really fun to see. You're going to actually get some pretty specific strategies when that launches. So that's going to be really fun. It looks like, Shelly is looking for reviews. So if you've taken the assessment and you've learned something, or you've taken the assessment and it's helped you with communication, we love to list out your experience on the website. So please reach out to Shelly. She put her address in the chat last week, so I'm sure she'll do the same again. So you can find her, or you can just PM the IX Leadership website, and that is, or the Facebook group. She checks that too. So thank you in advance for helping us out.
Yeah, and we're happy to keep any comments or reviews you have anonymous if you don't want people to know who you are, or if you do, then we can put your first name on them so that people can see you. So if you really want people to know who you are, also send along a picture, because we've got a spot on the website where we can put your picture with it.
Yeah, because some of you, you SEO nerds out there, that the more you have your name in places, the higher you are up in the Google searches. So use it as a strategic tool for you and your company.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have valuable knowledge for our community members? So if you want to do a takeover on our page, or be interviewed or have a conversation with Rachel or I or both of us on the page about what you know or what you're an expert in, let us know. You can send Shelly a message and she'd be happy to put you on the schedule for our lives. And we are really... Nobody loves us more than we do, but you guys have to be sick of hearing from us all the time. So if you've got expert advice in a certain area, please let us know. Or if there's something specific you want to hear about, we can go find an expert for you to listen to. So certainly let us know which way we can help you, and if you want to help with the lives.
Because we would love to have you on, so... And Meg worked out how to do Zoom feed to Facebook Live, which I don't know is a technological miracle.
I didn't,
frankly.
Figure it out.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I mean, Shelly kind of already had
you
it
click
sorted.
the buttons, which
I
is
did.
Some days.
In my office, I was on a call just now, and my internet went out 4 times.
Ugh, so annoying.
On a Zoom call. So this is my life.
Yours used to work. Right before we did the booster thing.
Yeah, but now that they're even unplugged, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Boo. My office needs smudging, I guess.
Maybe that's what we should do. Get some sage in here. I mean,
Shelly said
watch out for the fire extinguishers.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be the shit? That'd be the ultimate technical snafu, is all of our shit gets watered on.
Let's not smudge.
Okay. I think that's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our weekly quote: "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." I like that a lot. I think thinking out beyond today is a challenge for a lot of people, and I think you can exercise that muscle by practicing. So.
Yeah, funny that's the quote today, because we just did a podcast interview that will be released in the next couple months, and this was this woman, she talked a lot about that she doesn't really count her successes by success and failure, more by what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and enjoying the process instead of the result. So, interesting. All right, weekly writing prompt. This is one that we've done before.
Today is the end of the first quarter, and we are officially in spring, although today, I don't know if it feels like it.
Feels more like it than yesterday.
Yeah, no joke. This seems like a good time to burn the bad and keep the good. So if you got things that you want to get out of your head about, shortcomings that you think you have, shortcomings that maybe you do have or things that you're worried other people think about you, now is the time. Write it down, burn that shit.
Yeah, and the nice thing about writing it down and then burning it is it lets you physically release it in a way that you can't if you keep it all in your head. So that's why that mechanism is really important.
Yes. I'll paraphrase. I read this one earlier.
Oh,
It's
you
really
did?
long.
Okay, you paraphrase.
Okay, so called into my boss's office. He said basically, you're really bad at your job that you've been doing for the last 5 years. You should probably consider finding a new job, and go look for one right now or a different position in the company or what have you. Wasn't let go. This person then wasn't let go, and then they've had several conversations with their boss since. Hey, you're doing a really good job, Meg. We really appreciate what you're doing. So, WTF should I do about that? Do I go find a new job before I get fired, or should I just put my nose to the grindstone and hope for the best? Well, unfortunately for whomever you are, your culture type will prevent you from doing either of those, I suppose. If you're super chaos tolerant, you're going to probably go look for a job because you don't care what that guy thinks and you're not going to be miserable. If you're order tolerant, of course you're going to keep your nose to the grindstone and keep doing what you're doing because it's consistent and comfortable, and by God, you're good at it, even if that you have that one weird point in time where someone told you you're not. So, I guess if you want my opinion, of course you should go look for another job. Anybody can be fired at any time. No sense counting on somebody else to hope that you're not going to be.
It's good advice. It's good advice. I had a situation similar where I had a job that I was afraid. What's happening with your neckline?
It's
there?
crooked.
It's a little
The shirt
uneven.
itself is crooked, and then
I
I
have
get
one of
this-
those tank tops, like it's like one of these stretchy cotton
Yeah.
things, and I don't know if it's how they cut it because it's stretchy. It kind of gets like off the bias or
Yep.
something, and then
Yep.
it's always not quite
And
right.
then
I
the
have a tank
camera's-
top just like that.
Then the camera's backwards, so then I pull on the wrong spot and make it more crooked. Just quit messing with it.
Just put this.
There you go.
You would
Just
notice.
cover that up.
So I had the same position. I was buying a house, and I was afraid I was going to lose my job in my case. And I kept checking in with my boss, saying, "Hey, how's it going? Is there anything I could do? Are you happy with my performance?" But I knew there was going to be this round of layoffs that I would be considered for. And he kept saying, "No, there's nothing else you can do. We're really pleased with your work. Thank you for everything you're doing." And I just kept going, figuring, hoping it would all work out. And guess what? It didn't. And then I was faced with trying to close on a mortgage without a job, and on and on. And it was a very, very sad and stressful time. So take your life into your own hands and sort out something else before it's done to you, and then you have a lot less options.
Yes.
That is I wholly support her advice.
Yeah.
Go sort your shit now,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's just too depressing to think about.
Yikes.
It's very stressful. All right. Well, we only have one question.
I guess.
Well, that's not long enough. It's not enough questions. What other questions do we have? How do you live with an incredibly chaotic person?
I don't know. I don't know the rules of living with an incredibly chaotic person. I guess I am the chaotic person in my life, so
Right.
I'm.
Hard to imagine.
How do I help someone live with me? That's probably better. How do you help someone live with your chaos? I over communicate.
I think that's like the take home message all the time.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Don't use your words. Don't pretend people understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, and don't take it personally then when you told somebody something 3 times and they're like, "Yeah, you told me that. Is there something different?" Nope, just wanted to make sure I didn't
Checking
forget to
in.
tell you.
Yep.
So over communicate. That's my tip for dealing with someone who's super chaos tolerant.
I think that's really smart. I'm not sure. And I think the other thing is to be aware of your own needs and communicate those too. So if you're the chaotic one and you have people that are trying to organize you, that probably won't work long term without a lot of talking. And if you're an order person and you're trying to deal with someone who's crazy, that's not going to work for both of you. You got to give each other a little space to be who you actually are. So it's not only about communication, but it's also about giving each other grace about where you know they have to survive and be and thrive.
Yeah, developing a healthy sort of dialogue around the differences helps. So
Yes.
like we use Helix all the time, living with each other. And I say, I can't listen, like Rachel just before we got on this call, hey, what do you think about, should we just change this whole big, why are we doing this one thing? I'm like, I'm not talking to you about that right now. I'm not interested in solving that problem right now. I didn't want to talk about it because it's going to be like a longer conversation about why do we do that way. And she's like, oh, okay. But otherwise, if we didn't kind of know and understand, and trust each other about, oh yeah, she means because we're about to get on the live, and why would we talk about this very serious, annoying part of our business right now? She's like, that's why.
What really helped too was that you said, I think we should talk about it, not right now. So if you would have said, I don't want to talk about it, and it felt like a blow off, or that my concerns weren't important, then I may have reacted in a more negative way. But you said, I agree, we should talk about it. So now I can okay, I can wait for that call. I can wait for that conversation. So again, like working through how you can communicate better, and is going to be really important. I'm trying to think of an example where you drive me crazy, which is a lot, but I'm trying to remember a specific example.
This is the wonderful thing about having a team-driven business partner, because not much drives you really crazy.
And I forget a lot intentionally. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe your orderliness around job titles and descriptions. Job descriptions.
I don't even understand it. It's a problem. Like, literally your job title should be, this is like one of the number one issues with all of our clients. They're like, well, I don't actually do what my job title says, so I'm kind of confused and having a meltdown. Oh, then I try and do it in our business, and Rachel's like, why is it important?
It doesn't matter what we call anybody.
Oh my God.
I have to be able to exercise my chaos in some ways.
Yeah, I don't know that I think when I do, we both, this probably has nothing to do so much with our culture types, but we process things, I can't even tell you, so strangely differently. So we're trying to walk through, like, this is how we should do something, and I'm like, yes, ABC, but what comes out of my mouth and sounds like to Rachel is like LMF and 2. And she's like, what? Why would we do it like that? So
That doesn't make any sense.
That's definitely when I know I can tell you're like, what in the what's wrong with your brain?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like, this seems like it makes sense to me.
I can't tell you how many times we've argued the same point to each other. We're in total agreement, but we are saying the wrong words or something.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time together. So if that can happen with us, who are completely committed to the success of the thing we're doing, if you're not completely committed or spend enough time together, I can see where things go astray.
Yes.
I had a conversation about that this morning between two executives who have completely different visions of what the company is even for, and that is creating a lot of hard feelings and hard times and stressful conversations. So
Gross.
yeah, right. Gross is right. No wonder people are like, bye. Don't want to deal. It's hard work. Sometimes it's hard work in the beginning. I think the more you do it and the better you get at it, it's less hard work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, don't give up because it might feel hard early. It's worth working through.
Indeed.
All right. So we have a really fun, some good news. We just interviewed Trisha
Paluccio,
an Italian woman, Italian heritage. She grew up in Modesto, California, and she'll tell you all of her big story, but it's really fun. She had a big deal happening right before the pandemic, like February of 2020. And then the pandemic hit and nothing happened for 6 months? Because August, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For 6 months. But she kept going to do the thing that she thought would happen and just had faith that it would all work out.
Yes.
And
She did, and it did. And we can't tell you anything more specific than that because it's in the podcast that you're going to watch within a couple months.
It has something to do with fashion and the Grammys, and it's just awesome. And frankly, it's about really the arc of the story is a woman who used to do something for a hobby and made it into a tiny business that she could barely survive on, and now it's showed up in the Grammys. So it's a pretty incredible story. And I guess the the interesting part, one of the interesting parts for me is that she just kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, the timing was right, the energy was right, the feeling was right, and she started getting calls from people, like big name people, big name companies, big name fashion, big name everything. And she said, I didn't have that many followers on Instagram. Like, I just kept doing it though, because I love it. And so I think there's a thread in there about you just keep doing the things and good things will happen.
Yeah.
We hear a lot about, well, we think a lot of people are like overnight famous, but you come to find out they've actually been doing the thing for 15 years. No one just really knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in that situation, keep plugging away. Someone will see sooner or later.
Yeah. An interesting thing I learned in our podcast interview, before we even started, Rachel and this woman were talking about their families are both from Modesto area, and so you were calling almonds what?
Almonds.
So
That's the old school way.
almond is apparently the way you pronounce almond in some
Places.
places.
So it's almonds when they're on the tree, and they're almonds when they're harvested.
Huh.
So my mom, who grew up, my mom's family still owned some almond orchards, still says almonds. And because she lives in South Dakota now, she's not a local girl. But yeah, so her mother's family were immigrants from Spain through San Francisco. Actually, they came in through Hawaii to San Francisco, settled in the valley, and they picked fruits and nuts when they first got here just to survive. And so they had a shack in the orchard because they couldn't afford to rent or to buy anything. And so they had like dirt floors and they just basically had shelter. And it's in the valley, it's like 100 degrees in the summer and it's not that cold in the winter. So they didn't really need, like, here you die if you had that kind of place. But and so my grandpa always said that his family was poor. His dad died when he was 10, and so all the kids went to work, like odd jobs and delivering newspapers and working in the cannery and at 12 and all kinds of stuff to help support the family. He said his family was poor, but my grandma's family was poor minus because they lived in a dirt floored shack in the middle of the orchard, which I'm sure was illegal. They just sort of, people kind of pretended they didn't see.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So we have a little history of almond orchards in the family. So.
Wow. If you don't know, now you know. Almonds are called almonds on the tree.
On the tree.
And in the orchard.
In the old school, that's what she was saying. Her family doesn't call them that, but they're kind of hobby almond farmers. So they call them almonds.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we had some connections through engineering family, and you just never know. That whole 6 degrees thing.
Yeah.
Let's get Kevin Bacon in here.
God.
I want a 1 degree connection to Kevin Bacon.
Well, call him up, Shelley.
That's
Get him
right.
on the
Hey,
podcast.
that's a great idea. Let's have Kevin Bacon on the podcast.
Yeah.
Any other famous people we can pitch? Let's do it. I'm feeling like anything's possible today. So
Feeling froggy.
that's right.
All right.
Let us know what famous people you want to see on the podcast. We'll have Shelley chase them down.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, well, until next time, friends, lead powerfully.
Change the world. See you next week. It's probably some weird time. We haven't determined when. So